In the news now, a survey was done that shows that most South Africans believe that corruption has worsened or increased during the tenure of President Cyril Ramaphosa. And this is from News 24. You'll find the link to this article in the description below this video as well as in the first comment. In the sub-headlines, it says some people say corruption has worsened during President Cyril Ramaphosa's term of office. The Afrobarometer team, led by the Institute for Justice and Reconciliation and Plus 94 Research, interviewed 1,600 adults. The face-to-face interviews were conducted in May and June of 2021. Now, face-to-face interviews are the most accurate that you can get because most people face-to-face are not going to lie to you like they might over the phone. Some South Africans say corruption has worsened during President Cyril Ramaphosa's tenure, according to a new survey conducted by Afrobarometer. And this is very significant. The fact that they believe that this is a wide and broad public opinion, and I'll give the numbers just now, because you will see that in many cases, the same news network will prop up Cyril Ramaphosa and the next moment they will knock him. This is a strategy that's being used because they want people to stop trusting government systems. They want people to stop trusting governments overall. Remember, the end plan is to bring a new one world government into being. And to do that, you have to break down all governments around the world and make the people believe that they don't need governments within the country, that they don't need sovereignty, and many other things. The survey found that not only do South Africans believe corruption is getting worse, but they see a large portion of elected officials and civil servants as involved in corrupt activities. So they believe that has increased when that was the mainstream media, especially News 24's milieu during the Jacob Zuma years. But now they are finding with this report that people are saying that it's gotten worse, that there's more public servants involved in corruption under Cyril Ramaphosa's tenure. Almost 64% of those surveyed say that corruption increased in the past year, while 49% say it has increased a lot. That's half of the population. If you look at the survey stats, and the survey, according to them, has a 95% accuracy or trustworthiness. The Afrobarometer team, led by the Institute for Justice and Reconciliation and Plus 94 Research, interviewed 1,600 adults between May and June 2021. So this is very recent. The team said a sample of this size yielded country-level results with a margin of error of around 2.5 percentage points at a 95% confidence level, which is quite high. Now, I'm not going to speculate on the accuracy of these surveys. When the numbers come out like this, it tells you that there's a fairly large shift in the way that people think, and I think the news that we've put out there and that you've helped share has had a huge contribution towards that. A lot more people have access to social media and they are able to make up their own minds, and these are people giving their opinions face to face in a survey. Those surveyed believe the government was largely handling the anti-corruption fight badly. They also believe that channels to report corruption were increasingly seen as unsafe. And that is significant. So a lot of people that report corruption, we see people assassinated, we see people attacked, attempted assassinations, many things like that for people that try to end corruption. I quote, "State institutions are widely seen as corrupt. Half or more citizens say most or all officials are involved in corruption. In the police, 56%. The President's Office, 53%, local government councils, 51%, and Parliament, 50%. Now, that tells you that we are getting close to a point where the mainstream population do not trust government at all. And this shows you why there has been such a massive jab hesitancy throughout South Africa. Non-governmental organizations, traditional leaders, and religious leaders are less commonly seen as corrupt. And this is fascinating because it tells you that people are starting to trust other organizations more than they are government. And rightfully so. Afrobarometer found that 7 in 10 South Africans say the government is performing fairly badly or very badly in the fight against corruption. That's about 70% of South Africans. The Afrobarometer said Among citizens who interacted with key public services during the past year, substantial proportions say they had to pay a bribe to avoid problems with the police, 24%, or to obtain a government document, 21%, police assistance, 15%, public school services, 10%, or medical care, 8%. Now that is shocking. And those are things that show you that the current system that we have is not free. You have to pay for it. This is what these people are proving here. That with the police, 24% say that they had to pay a bribe to actually get something done. That's a quarter of the people being interviewed. So out of 1,600 people, that's a large number. That's 400 people that say that they had to bribe the police. 3 out of 4 South Africans, 76%, say people risk retaliation or other negative consequences if they report incidents of corruption. A 13 percentage point increase compared to 2018. So this is post the Jacob Zuma years, and everyone went haywire, especially because I believe mainstream media that Jacob Zuma was a main culprit when I said you will still wish that he returns when you see how bad things will get in future. And I didn't mean it that I wanted him back in office. I meant that with regards to how bad it has gotten and will still get in future. Mark my words. 7 out of 10 citizens believe that officials who break the law often or always go unpunished. Despite the high visibility of corruption on the national agenda, almost 64% of South Africans say corruption has gotten worse over the past year. Only 15% believe corruption has decreased. So the people that think that corruption are better under Cyril Ramaphosa, you are the minority, and it's very important that you get that into your head, because when you speak to many of the people up there in the Cyril Ramaphosa camp, you are the minority. You're not the majority of people in the country, and you can shout and scream as much as you want, throw around qualifications and all sorts of other things. At the end of the day, we are the law. The people of the country are the law. And I will explain that in a video I'll be doing very shortly on why you should consider voting and why there is now an alternative. Despite the particular emphasis on anti-corruption efforts focusing on the presidency, more than half, 53% of South Africans believe that most or all officials in the presidency are involved in corruption, which includes Cyril Ramaphosa. And so corruption is something that is obviously a huge problem, not just in this country. It's been there for decades. It's been there for centuries, actually. You know, people being corrupt is a part of the bad side of humanity. And anyone that thinks that since 1994 something better was going to happen, they didn't understand the world powers that are the most corrupt, that want to remove your freedoms. And like I say, I won't do any news article if it doesn't relate to your freedom to act and choose as you want. And most of this corruption is done at the hands of exchange of large sums of money, so that these public officials sell out your freedom. And I will end this video on that note. Thank you very much for watching. Till the next video.